Good morning. It is an apocalyptic day here on Long Island, New York, and today I am in a 2016 Scion FRS. Now, before I go into the whole video, this FRS is not a stock vehicle. It's been riced out. Now, it has a couple modifications. I think it's got headers, a catback, a tune. It's got a K&N air filter. It has a big replica Rocket Bunny wing on it. It's a little bit weird of a build, if you will so call it, but you know what? If it exists, I'll review it. Why not? I'll give it a go. So I've known FRSs for a long time. They're very popular cars. I'm sure there's a million other videos out there on them. I haven't seen any of them. When I do my reviews, I kind of just drive it and I get my first-hand personal experience, and I want to share that with you guys. So that's exactly what we're doing here today. I'm driving the car. I'm seeing how my impressions are of it and what I think of it off kind of like a raw knowledge on the car, because I know a little bit about them, but I've never looked into them extensively. I like them. Yeah, I mean, they're cool. So the FRS shares a platform with the Subaru BRZ and the Toyota GT86. When they discontinued the Scion FRS, that's when the GT86 came into play. So there was never really three of them that existed at one time. The only major difference between the three of them is, I believe, the front bumper. And like maybe there's some suspension difference. I know there is in the new GR86 versus the new BRZ. I'm unsure with this generation though, so somebody can look that up for me here. So my first impressions getting into the car before even driving it, I know I'm driving it now, but before even driving the car, the interior is actually nicer than I was expecting. I've heard a lot of people talk down on these interiors. It's really not bad. I really like the layout of everything. It kind of feels almost like a spaceship, and I like that. It kind of feels very driver oriented, if you will, and it feels, you know, up to date, modern. It's not obviously new Apple CarPlay features and all that, but it's really nice for what you can get for what these go for. You can get one of these for like 10 to 15K, and it's an amazing sports car. From what I know of them, they make great track cars, autocross cars, drift cars. The way I see them almost is like, I know Miatas still exist, like the ND Miata is still being produced, but I see this as like the new age Miata. What the Miata was back in the 90s is what I believe now the FRS is to the newer generation, the younger kids. You can pick one up, they're fairly reliable. You can do anything with them. They have a great platform. You can do so many different motorsports with them, or you can daily drive it, or what have you, you know? I think they're great. The interior has a nice feel to it. I really like the steering wheel. It's got no buttons on it. All it has is cruise control on like behind it, but there's no buttons, and you can kind of tell it's more of a driver's car. You know, it's not really something somebody would buy, like a normal person would buy to daily drive. I'm sure it's happened, but I don't really think that is what the intention was with the car. But on top of that, I just really like the cluster as well. I think I like the colors, and it looks crisp and it's fresh, and it really feels like it's up to date, honestly. The funny thing about the speedometer, what I from seeing from where I am right now, the 0 starts, you can see like so far to the right that when you're going 60, it looks like in a normal car you'd be going like 10 miles an hour. So I think it's kind of like tricking you into going faster, you know, a little race car action. But no, I like the digital. I like the digital speedometer. That's always appreciated. Yeah, overall, just really nice cluster. Really enjoy that. Anyways, so sitting in the car, very comfortable. I have tons of headroom. The owner of this car is actually 6'7", and he fits in it decently comfortably. The only issue is that his legs touch the steering wheel. So, I mean, if you put a bucket seat in it and get a little bit lower, if you really have long legs, you can kind of get around with that. But not really any blind spots. I can see pretty well out of the back corners, which is like surprising for a two-door sports car. I almost said like a two-seater, but it does have a back seat. Surprisingly, I think it's honestly just for insurance reasons. I don't think anybody's sitting back there over the age of like 3 months old. So the car does have headers and I believe catback and a tune. I know a big problem with this generation of BRZ 86 FRS is that they have this little thing called a torque dip, and if I remember correctly, it's between 3,500 RPM and 5,000 RPM where you're accelerating, and when you get into that rev range, it kind of just, the torque just falls flat on its face until you get after 5,000 and it picks back up again. I believe this exhaust setup and tune like kind of get rid of that, and it helps up the torque a little bit. We're gonna find out. So the car is a little bit loud. It's got like a raspiness, but it's not droney, which I like. A lot of cars that have like an aftermarket exhaust of some sort wind up being really droney and kind of unbearable to cruise. But this one, you don't even hear the exhaust until you get on the gas, which is nice. The suspension is feeling pretty rigid right now, but it's not uncomfortable. I don't feel like I'm like in pain when I go over like a harsh bump. But you can definitely feel that it has definitely a sporty heritage, or a sporty intent, if you will. The thing that I don't like, though, that I've noticed is that it has an electronic accelerator pedal. So it's kind of like there's some sort of delay, and it's not exactly on the right timing with your foot, and that always kind of bugs me because I don't know. I don't want a computer to be in between me and the gas. You know, like if I want to hit the gas a certain way, then it's calculated. All right, let's get on some fun roads, will we? Let's try it. Came all the way up to the North Shore for this. Oh yeah, this is definitely a driver's car. No doubt about it. Every turn it feels like it's so flat. All right, maybe we can test out how these low gears do. Sorry for the low light, by the way. It got super late, and it's just life. Oh, it rips. Okay, little ricer machine. Oh, it rips. Oh yeah. Oh, this thing is fun. The tune, I think, is really helping this thing, yo. It's got some great, like, torque when you get back on it. I'm not saying great torque as in, like, muscle car torque, but for a little four-banger, like, Japanese lightweight car, this thing is, like, this is exactly what you want. Yeah, I love this thing. Are you kidding me? If you have an opportunity to buy one of these cars for a good deal, and you got nothing else going on in your life, and, like, you're like, hey, I could use a sports car. Hey, I could use a beginner sports car, my first rear-wheel drive, first manual, like something to get into cars with. I think this is such a great answer. If you're not looking for something with huge horsepower numbers and like drag rate, wow, look at these hills. If you just want to get into cars and you want to get into driving and even any kind of motorsport, whether you go to your local autocross, local track day, if you want to start drifting with the boys and you don't mind a little bit of a banged up BRZ, like these things are great, dude. Wow. Bang for buck is crazy on this thing. Oh, this is so fun. It's so flat, just stock suspension. Like, how do they... Oh, I'm cruising at 65 around these corners like it's nothing. Damn. I mean, with the way Miata's prices are looking right now, like, you might be better off just getting one of these, dude. Save up a couple extra thousand. I know Miata's going for like 7K right now. You could probably find one of these for 10. Save up a couple extra and just get one of these. It's newer, reliable. I mean, the only downside is tuning, turboing might be a problem if you live in a state that does emissions and all that with the check engine light. But like, if you just want to like keep it relatively stock, even this one has, some exhaust modifications and a tune, like, it's just so fun. You can just floor it around like any corner, and like it's not going anywhere. Wow, love this car, honestly. I'm gonna try and wrap up this video because I know it's getting super dark, and I apologize if apologize if the camera is not picking up low light all that great. Alright, so we're doing a new rating system. I've been doing a weird rating system. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but it's funny, haha, you know. But like, we're doing a new rating system right now, where instead of doing all the categories out of 8, dang, this road. Instead of doing all the categories out of 8, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna say, how much do I like this car out of 100? And I'm gonna do that in, I think, 2 categories. We're gonna do it in terms of the sports category, and then in terms of practical daily driverness, would I drive it every day type situation. So I'm thinking, like, for a sports car category, I'm gonna give this thing like an 88, like out of 100. You know, it feels really good. Just missing some horsepower, but like, you don't even need it. It's so fun without it. And like, 88 is an insane score. That is so high out of 100. I mean, come on, you can't really complain. It's got great handling. This is, I mean, obviously the suspension's good, steering is good. Accelerator pedal is not doing it for me. I don't really know if you believe in those command pedals that are like the electronic boxes you hook up. Maybe one of those would help. If they just gave this thing like a regular, like, drive-by-wire, like, throttle, like a real throttle cable, like, it would have been so much better. This car would have been exponentially more fun. In terms of daily driverness, honestly, it's not that bad. Only thing, like, that's fucking hard. The only thing that's bad is obviously very little backseat space and like no real like trunk space. So you can't really like. It's also rear-wheel drive, so winter is kind of tricky for it. I mean, I'm gonna have to give it like a 70 for daily driver. It gets great gas mileage. I mean, cruising on the highway, I'm getting like 35 miles per gallon according to the little computer here. Good gas mileage. It's reliable. You know, giving you warm it up in the morning because it's a Subaru. You don't want that ringland failure. And it's easy, comfortable to drive. I'm sure it's relatively safe. Yeah, but just like I said, like, the fact that winter is probably not so easy for it, and then the lack of just space in the inside. Like, can you take a friend in here? Legally, I guess so, but comfortably, no, you wouldn't want to. And then the final thing that I'm gonna do my judging on, if you want to call it judging, my rating, my scoring. So you have the 88 for performance. You have the, I guess I gave it like a 70 something, 70 for daily, whatever I gave it, you knew. And then I'm gonna say, would I buy it or would I not buy it? You know, and for what the price is, I believe this one was bought for around $11,000, $11,500, somewhere between 11 and 12. It's got I don't know, 100,000 miles, just about, almost. And it's in fairly good condition. It's a 2016. You could pick up these for like relatively cheap. They made a lot of them. It's got a decent little gearbox. The shift is kind of notchy, which is nice. I would definitely buy this. If I had 10K burning a hole in my pocket, or if I just sold something and I wanted, you know, say I sold my Skyline and I wanted to get something that I could more reliably drive every day, feel more comfortable in, yeah, I'd buy one of these in a heartbeat. They look great. And like, you can do so much with them. They have that aggressive little front face, you know, on the FRS. I think the BRZ is a little more goofy. It's kind of like smiling at you. But the FRS has that nice aggressive kind of look. And just the shape of the car, the silhouette is amazing. Like, I love it. Given it doesn't have a giant ricer wing on the back and all these stickers everywhere, you can make one of these look really nice with some tasteful mods. You lower it, put some OEM Plus wheels, or get some nice wheels, a little lip, a duckbill. That's all you really need, and this thing will look amazing and handle incredibly. So yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you coming for the ride. Sorry for the low light. I was not expecting this at all. It got dark way faster than I anticipated. But I appreciate you if you're sticking around, if you did. If you didn't, then like, I appreciate you clicking on the video in the first place. If there's any cars you want to see me review in particular, please let me know in the comments, and I can try and set something up. I'll find somebody with the car, a dealership maybe, I don't know. Whatever you want to see, please tell me. I'd be more than happy to accommodate as best I can to get whatever cars you're interested in my repertoire, if you will. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope everyone has a great night, because I hope I will. Peace.